Hi friends, it's Connie, the late blooming crafter, and this is a part 2 that I wanted to follow up for the video that I put out on YouTube showing how I fixed basically some collage that I had done for some cards for junk journaling, and I did a little bit more to those cards. They needed some more decoration, and I still felt there was a little bit of a disconnect in some areas that was showing that I didn't like. So I think this was one that I kind of showed what I intended to do to fix it, and then I added a little bit more, and I think it turned out pretty cute. I have some vintage laces, and so I put a little tiny piece across here, and then on the back I put a ruffle. This is the wrong edge, of course, because you want the right side to show on the front of the card. So I might put a little bit of this lace even on this right here, but not necessary. And then I might add a stamp or something here, or like I said, I might cover it with some coffee stained paper so it can be written on better. But there was a little bit of an area here I didn't like, so I put some more vintage lace here and kind of pinched it up to ruffle it a tiny bit. And then I had some fabric that was in the same lot that I got on eBay that had all these vintage laces in it. And I took this little piece of fabric, and there was two pieces. I tore them or cut and tore them, and I kind of formed a flower and put a vintage button there, and then added this cutout and this little sentiment. And so I'm much happier with that. Granted, you might say, well, from the original card, I covered most of the collage, and it's true, because I didn't like it. But I think the whole point of what I was trying to show was that we can fix our mistakes. We don't have to throw everything away that we think, well, that didn't turn out well. There's usually a fix for things that we do for junk journals, and many people will say, well, that's the whole point of junk journals. It's imperfection is perfect. So I can still see some of the collage in the background around, so it's still there. Anyway, that's one of the cards. I think this was another one that I was going to work on, and I said basically the collage was pretty rough and needed to be covered up quite a bit. So that's kind of what I did, and I kept this card pretty simple, just adding the tab and then a sentiment and this little ribbon that covered up the side that I really didn't like the collage on. And this kind of ties in some of the color that's in this piece here. So put a little bit of one of those stickers right there. And that one compared to this one is pretty simple, but I still like it. Sometimes people say less is more. This one's less, but I still think this is really beautiful too. Okay, and then these two, I think were mostly done that I showed in my video as far as connecting and putting the larger items on that connected better in the collage. But then I still saw some of the disconnect in areas and didn't love it, and I felt it needed a little bit more. So I put the vintage laces on, I put a little tab, put a fussy cut flower down here, careful not to cover up this piece here, but it kind of tied in the roses, and then some more vintage lace and a vintage button. And this vintage button had those little dark gray metal holes that I thought looked nice with the canning jar color. So I think that one turned out really cute. And this piece of paper here definitely has some little spots on it. I'm not sure what that came from, so again, I'll have to stamp or put something there to cover that up. But I thought that card, I like that one a lot. And then there's this one. I was getting pretty happy with it when I showed that, but I still felt it needed a little bit more, and so I started to put lace around it, And then there was still a few more places here and here that I added, and here. Still added a few more pieces to make it look more cohesive and connected. And then part of this lace at the end had this thicker area that was kind of doubled back, and so I used that to make a tab. And then after I put that on, I decided to put the lace across the top so the tab doesn't show as much, but it's there. But anyway, so just a little bit further decoration on these journaling cards or bookmarks. These tall ones could be bookmarks. And what they're gonna all be going in eventually is, well, actually I don't know if they're all gonna be going in there because I think some of them aren't the right size. They just ended up being what they are. But this was a journal that I had started from this paper that this digital paper that I downloaded, I mentioned, from Old Osina. And I haven't sewn in the signatures or anything. I'm still working on things. But the papers are really cute. It's little animals that are reading. I thought this would be a sweet little journal for a younger girl that I'm thinking of. So, and then I had this. While I'm on here, I'll show you this. I've had this, the washi tape doesn't want to stick, even though I've glued it a few times, I'm sure. And the bag got rippled a little bit when I folded it. But I've had this bag for quite some time that I started just messing around to see what I could do with a paper sack, like a lunch sack. And so I started working on it a little bit to make it work with this journal. It might just be an add-on. So I glued this little cutout on there, that because everything else was already done. And then I added this little card that I hinged on. Nothing's really been decorated that much, just a little bit. But used the pockets to add cards. And those are coffee stain papered on the back. But the little reading animals are so cute. And then on this end, there's some pockets as well that have some journaling cards in them. A little hedgehog. This Etsy digital came with the little tabs that you can cut out. Pink paper on the back there. So that's what I decided to use, this little paper bag that I've had forever. Like I say, that I just started playing with. This was on here, this striped paper, and then added this with some cheesecloth. May or may not be done. I think some of the cards still need some decoration, and it may be just, like I say, an add-on, because I've tried thinking about what I can do with it. It covers up that cute mouse picture, and I've thought about making it a part of my signature, but it's really thick, as you can imagine. So I don't know. We'll see. It remains to be seen. This is in the works still. So I hope you enjoyed just seeing the update on the journaling cards. Just we can take them to a new level of fixing them with lace and buttons and cutouts, and I think they turned out really cute. And they didn't look so cute before, as you saw. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. You guys take care.